Right here in front of us, we have got 3 spot whiskies.
Ooh, I wonder which one will be the top spot.
Let's find out in this week's video. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd.
I'm Rose and I'm the Whiskey Noob.
And like we said, today we've got 3 spot whiskies in front of us.
Ooh, I'm excited to see what the difference is because I see Green Spot, Green Spot, Green Spot.
Yes, so this is Green Spot whiskey. So a few years ago they kind of started this, I guess, I don't want to say trend, it's kind of like new line or the SKU.
The spot line.
The spot line. So they've got Green Spot, they've got Yellow Spot, Gold Spot, Red Spot, Blue Spot. But in the Green Spot line, they said, let's take our classic Green Spot whiskey and finish it in different wine casks and see how much that adds to it. So this should be the same whiskey, but just a little bit older.
Okay.
They have got a 4th bottle, which should go here. Sorry, I'll just go into it. This is the classic Green Spot.
Okay.
This is the Green Spot Chateau Montelena.
Ooh.
And this is the Green Spot Chateau Leoville Barton.
Oh.
The 4th one was the Green Spot Quail's Gate. It came out, I think, a year ago, 2 years ago. I didn't really like it.
Okay.
I tried it a couple times. I said, I don't really like it. I won't get a bottle of it. Maybe I'll buy a bottle of it another time when it's released again. Because they do release these in batches.
Okay.
But they release them in big batches. So eventually there's enough stock on the shelves. They didn't re-release that Quail's Gate again. So I'm not sure it was super popular.
Okay.
Whereas these two, they've released batches and batches and batches. So they're pretty much widely available on shelves. Even though I think it is like a batch product.
Yeah.
But like they might make 10,000 bottles, but they only sell 9,000. And so next year you got 11,000, and next year you got 12, that kind of thing where it's pretty much available, I think, year round.
Yeah, but they just kind of stagger the release.
They kind of stagger the releases.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you still get the original classic Green Spot?
Yes, so the classic Green Spot is always available. This here is, I think, about €65. 65 euro with the tax and everything included here in Ireland. It is coming in at 40%.
40?
40% alcohol by volume. It is a pot still whiskey.
Okay.
So that means it's made of malted and unmalted barley. It should have a nice bit of sweetness, but also a bit of spiciness to it. And pot still has this kind of like honeyed, dense, oily character to it, which means at 40%, it can deliver a lot of flavor, more than you'd be expecting at 40%.
Because 40% is like a shock.
It's quite low, but these two right here come in at 46%.
Oh, so there's a
bit of a more premium nature to them. They're the same whiskey, so this is bourbon aged and sherry cask finished. Okay. Bourbon aged, sherry cask, first finish, and then into a Chateau Montelena Zinfandel cask. So Chateau Montelena is, I think, it's from the Napa Valley. It says it somewhere here. Calistoga in the Napa Valley, which is in America. Yeah. And so it's a Zinfandel red wine cask. Okay. That was where it was finished. They don't say for how long. Okay. It might have been, depending on the year, depending on the heat, depending on the wine casks. It could probably go from between like 4 and 9 months.
All right, because you would imagine California fairly warm.
It'd be warm, so it might get a lot of cask interaction. Yeah. Whereas this one here, it again doesn't say how long it is, but it was bourbon, sherry, and then Leoville Barton wine casks, which is Bordeaux from the town of Saint-Julien.
Oh my god!
In France, so it's a Bordeaux wine cask. So Bordeaux is going to be like, I think, a bit heavier, a bit denser. Yeah. It's French wine as well, so the oaky, and the oak from here will probably be like American oak. Yeah. The oak from here will be French oak, so a bit heavier, a bit denser. It gives more like dark notes.
Is it a thing?
Also, on the darkness, you can see the color difference.
Oh, you can.
There's definitely a color
light
difference.
To dark.
Yeah.
And is there a thing with the spot whiskeys, like it's saying a specific chateau, not just like this is a general kind of wine or anything? Like, do they have relationships specifically with these?
So the Michelin Sun kind of company behind the Green Spot brand, they're originally wine merchants.
Oh, I always forget about that.
And they used to like buy whiskey and finish it in casks. So they would buy in wine, sell the wine, but the wine was sold in casks. Yes. And then they take whiskey from the Jameson distillery or the John's Lane distillery, I think it was called, in Dublin, and they put whiskey into those old, now empty wine casks. Okay. And they sell it. And then they eventually said, okay, the wines from Leoville Barton, they're great. We should keep using those. Ah. And do you recall the Gold Spot?
Yeah.
And the Gold Spot, I think this became the new Gold Spot. Because the new Gold Spot, the 9-year-old, I think they called it Gold Spot Generations. It talked about how they were collaborating with, I think it was the Sperry vineyards in Italy. Can't remember the exact type of wine.
Okay.
But it was like, we're collaborating with this vineyard for X number of generations. So they're going to release a whiskey to mark that.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's where this is kind of where they got that idea. Like, oh, let's take our whiskey, finish it in a cask, sell it on. Okay. So I think they're not going to do more of these they're probably still going to remain on shelves.
Yeah.
But they're probably not going to do more of them. I think that'll be where the Gold Spot goes.
Okay.
In the future releases of Gold Spot.
Because that was going to be my next question is, like, have they done this iteration with, like, the other Spot whiskeys?
No.
Okay, so maybe it is Gold Spot's the next.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is just kind of, as I said, same whiskey, different ABV, different finishes, but you should be able to get the same core flavor. So I think...
Let's do this.
That's enough talking. Let's go in. Start off with the classic Green Spot.
Okay.
This is generally regarded as one of the best kind of beginner Irish whiskies.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It does smell great.
It's super sweet, super
light,
vanilla, caramel,
fruity.
Big bright green apple note.
Like a
big Granny Smith green apple. Like it is.
Maybe because it's Green Spot. And
maybe because it's Green Spot.
Green.
Like this Green Spot and Redbreast are generally the best whiskies for beginners. Redbreast a bit spicier, Green Spot a bit fruitier, but they're both coming from the same distillery, just different ways of making it, different ways of aging it. But yeah. Alright?
Yes.
Anything else on the nose? Like it's vanilla, it's sweet, it's light, a bit of spice, but not too much. It is at 40%, and you're getting used to whiskies that are above 40%.
I know, 46 is normally my jam.
But yeah, it's just this is like
it's very straightforward. It's light. It's inviting.
Yeah, I've seen people call it a breakfast whiskey. Like it's light enough that over brunch or something you could you could go to it.
My thought is like if Grandma's inviting you over to her house and she's got apple pie and whiskey for you.
Apple pie and whiskey
from Grandma.
Very nice. Very approachable. Now.
Oh, we're not going to taste it?
Oh, we can taste it.
Let's go in
and taste it and then do a comparison at the end.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that tastes... Oh, what? Oh, that tastes very different.
It's spicier because...
It's definitely spicier.
Yeah, because pot still whiskey, it uses malted and unmalted barley. Unmalted barley gives you this kind of like almost peppery... I don't want to say, like kind of almost like cracked black pepper, that kind of flavor.
Absolutely, cracked black pepper.
You get that kind of flavor coming through.
Yeah,
and
but there's a sweetness in it. It's like a very well-spiced apple pie that you use Granny Smith apples.
Yeah, I've seen some people describe this also as being like almost a little coconutty.
Yeah.
Because it's a creaminess to it, but it's not, for me it's more spicy, more sweet, more fruity, vanilla, toffee, caramel.
It's like if you have a very sassy grandma.
A very sassy, I think we're going to be on grandmas all day now because... But yeah, a sassy grandma.
Sassy grandma.
Do you want to see a sassy grandma with some wine?
Oh, yes. Sassy grandma went to California.
Now, I have a definite favourite of these three.
I wonder if we can guess.
You might probably not be able to guess.
Really?
But I have a definite favourite between three. We're going to find out which your favourite is, though.
Okay, but I want to know yours too.
Yes. So this is the Chateau Montelena Zinfandel wine cask
finish.
Cheers.
Cheers. I almost went straight to drinking.
Like, it is at 46%, so it is a little bit more present in the glass.
Yes.
And you got that wine cask influence. So I think definitely comparing the two, like you get the core flavor there.
But there's something extra.
There's more here.
Yeah. Like there's almost like a tartness. Kind of reminds me of like either like I wonder if it connects to that tart green apple, but also like a cranberry can be pretty tart,
you know? I think there's definitely those kind of tart red berries, whether it's like a cranberry or like a raspberry or a blackberry. That kind of like, a real fresh berry.
It's like, or like an unripened version of something that would be sweeter later on. Yeah,
because it's definitely there. It's still creamy. It's still like got that pot still kind of rounded wrapper.
There's almost like a dryness or something.
Yeah, on the back here they say like white chocolate, bit of marshmallow.
Oh.
I'm not sure I get the white chocolate, but maybe like that marshmallow.
Burnt marshmallow.
Yeah, that kind of sweetness, the wrapper, that kind of like.
That could give you like the dryness, maybe.
And like obviously the wine cask, you're gonna get wine tannins.
Oh yes.
So you're gonna get those kind of.
Yeah, it could be coming from that too.
Do you want to go into the taste?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Much more on the palate than this. Still got that peppery spice. Still got the green apple, the caramel, the vanilla, but wine. A lot of wine.
Okay, yes, definitely more wine. I get just like I've had a lot of black pepper, just boom. Like that is the first thing that I get, and it's lasting for me.
Because doesn't red wine, some red wines have kind of black peppery?
Yes.
So probably doubled down on that.
Yeah, I definitely say there's a double, triple down. What else do you get?
Like it's oaky. Yeah, getting that dry tannin.
What if it's virgin oak, a virgin American oak? Do you think it could be? But it's not going to be virgin oak. But it is American oak.
It probably would have been American oak because it's Chateau Montelena.
Yes.
And we don't know how long the wine was in those casks for. But definitely getting that American oak, the kind of, I don't want to say like peanut brittle, but that kind of cinnamon, that kind of flavor. Those kind of wine oak barrel casks flavor. That kind of like the flavor of that, like the tannins that coming through.
Yes.
It's a bit more cinnamony, a bit more baking spicy, but it's definitely got a lot of wine character.
Yeah, there's a lot of tingly in my mouth. I think it's from those spices. It must be the spices.
Yeah, I'm not getting like on the nose, I was definitely getting like those cranberries, those red berries.
Yeah.
Here, it's
not
less identifiable.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a red wine influence, but it's less identifiable as like, oh, that maybe a cranberry, maybe a blackberry. Like you said, an unripened berry.
Yeah.
It's just like wine.
Yeah, wine and spices.
Wine and spicy. But do you want to go in for the last of the three?
Yes, please.
This is the Leoville Barton, a Bordeaux wine cask.
Okay.
So French oak.
French.
Yes.
All right.
Cheers. Sláinte.
Cheers.
Santé, as they say in French.
Santé. Oh, these all smell completely different.
Yeah, this is, I think, the most different of the three.
Yeah.
Because, the first one, Green Spot, lovely. Next one was Green Spot with an accent. This here is
a California accent.
A different whiskey, pretty much.
Yeah, it really smells different.
Again, 46%, but
it smells
almost like more sherried.
Yeah.
That kind of like there's more dried fruits, more like nuttiness almost to it.
Yeah, it's more of like I know it's French, so I want to say there's more like elegance.
Yeah, they do say
this is a little bit brash, this is a little bit elegant.
They do say floral perfume.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad I said elegant before you said that.
Yeah,
that makes me really proud of myself.
There's a bit of like, that kind of perfumed note coming through.
Yes,
that
is exactly it.
It's sweet, a very like a, what do they call it? You know more about wine than me, a bouquet of wine.
Oh,
where you get the flavor of the wine coming up, that's what you get here.
It does remind me of like a bouquet of like flowers, and yes, that is what I'm getting on the nose. You know what it is? Joe Malone. That's a perfume.
Oh, that's a perfume brand,
yes. Joe Malone. And they do stuff like, what is it? English pear is one of my favorite ones. It's like that. You get like those like fruity bits as if it was like a perfume or something.
Concentrated into a perfume, yeah.
Yes.
I am getting like wine influence as well, obviously. Like, I'd say whereas this one was like almost like tart berries, this is almost sweeter.
Oh.
Almost like if this was a blackberry or a raspberry, this would be a strawberry. At least to me. Like a strawberry is considered a bit tarty. You can obviously say different berries.
Yeah, no, I can't name the berries. It's more of like, this is the blossoming stage and this is the not ripe stage.
Or maybe as I'm going back to it, think of a strawberry that's been soaked in like syrup.
Oh.
So you know, like like you get them on cakes sometimes. Where it's like I don't know what you call it, maybe like glacé strawberry, where it's like it's been soaked in like sugar syrup. So it's very sweet and there's some fruity notes there.
Okay. Well, how should we taste it?
Well, then let's go in for the taste.
Let's go and taste.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sláinte. What?
Yeah, that is.
These are completely different from one another.
And that's why I think this was the idea that gave them the idea for like the gold spot. Where it's the same whiskey, but it's a cask has such a huge influence on the whiskey. And it's
huge influence. Like I thought these were gonna be like marginally different because they're gold spot. So green spot, and I thought that there would just be like these little like iterative changes. These are completely different, especially on the palate.
Yeah, like this is, it's almost like it's thicker on the palate. This is like, It's heavier, a bit more honey, bit more of that black pepper spice, honestly.
Yeah, I get black pepper spice, but I also get that sweetness, like the honey. I feel like there's a good connection between the nose and the palate because you get that flow of that like perfumey bits from like the floral nature of fruits in particular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's a nice consistency here. Into like this one here, the pepper spice kind of surprised you.
Yeah.
This one here,
it's all up in there.
Yeah. This one here, it's more perfumey, more.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit more consistent maybe, but also I think it's got the strongest flavor in the palate of the three.
Okay.
Like it's just more for me.
For me, it's like I thought this was strongest in the palate, but not maybe in a way that I liked. And this is very strong in the palate, but like in a more cohesive way.
I could get that. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. On the what do they say for the palate? They say. Bit of vanilla, bit of harmony of red wine, orchard fruits, French oak, and barley grains.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's more about like the cask influence, that flavour of that cask, the red wine flavour.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Favorite. I have a ranking.
You have a ranking, a full. Okay, go on.
Okay, so. As a ranking. I would go for.
She would go for.
This is number 1.
Number 1.
2, 3.
Okay.
Yes. I know we haven't been talking about this one so much as we moved away from it, but it is lovely. It's good intro, but like it's not an introductory whiskey. Like that's too much of like putting it lower than it should be.
This is what I would always say is it's an introduction to
nice whiskey.
Irish whiskeys.
Yeah. Like I would happily drink this.
Yeah, this is a very nice whiskey.
This it was too much of the black pepper on the palate for me. It just didn't do it for me. This, lot of flavor in there. It's complex. It's like if I wanted more of a complex, well put together whiskey, I'd go for that.
My ranking? Number 1?
Yes.
Number 2, number 3.
Oh!
So this is so when people ask me, oftentimes they say, sometimes people shoot me messages on Instagram or I see comments on YouTube and they say, oh, which of the 3 do you prefer? Leoville Barton. For me, it's just a bit better, a bit more cohesive. I still like this one.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the Quail's Gate.
Yeah.
I really do like this one.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, Green Spot, lovely. And as you can see from the bottle, like I go back to it.
Yeah.
This is a whiskey I can
go back
to it and go back to it and go back to it. It's really enjoyable, really nice and tasty. This one I think is a little bit better. This one I think is, again, a little bit better than that one. I think it's a bit more cohesive, a bit more flavorful, got more wine cask.
Yes.
And it is a wine cask finished whiskey.
Yeah.
So you want a wine cask influence.
Obviously.
So I'm glad you agree with me that this is
number 1.
Yes. If you see
the best spot. It's got the top spot.
It's got the top spot. Yeah. So I think that's kind of all there is to say about these whiskeys. I mean, if you want to see more videos like this where we kind of talk about whiskey, where we compare whiskeys, check out our channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button. We put out whiskey reviews like this every now and then on Mondays.
Yeah.
We put out whiskey reviews on Wednesdays, and we put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey on Fridays. So if you want to see more, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let us know down below if you've got any ideas for other videos like this we can do where we compare whiskeys. But right now, I think you like that one.
Yeah.
I like this one, and we're gonna enjoy these whiskeys and see you next time.
Yeah.
Sláinte.
Bye bye.